Oh. कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं को न याति परां गतिं यः पिबन् सततं रामचरितामृतसागरम् अतृप्तस्तं मुनिं वन्दे प्राचेतसमकल्मषम् गोष्पतीकृतवाराशिं मशकीकृतराक्षसम् रामायण महामाला रत्नं वन्दे नीलात्मजम् अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकी शोकनाशनं कपीशम् अक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करम् मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूतमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारी परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम् वाल्मीकि गिरिसम्भूता रामसागरगामिनी पुनादिभुवनं पुण्या रामायण महानदी वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदप्राचेतसादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः मङ्गलं कोसलेन्द्राय महनीय गुणाब्धये चक्रवर्ती तनूजाय सार्वभौमाय मङ्गलम्। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। We are in the most beautiful portion of Valmiki Ramayana. Traditionally, every student of Ramayana loves to recite this portion of Ramayana, whether he is or she is studying or reciting Valmiki Ramayana or Tulsi Ramayana, Kamba Ramayana, any Ramayana. Why it is so? Because it is said the most beautiful thing about Ramayana is the characters there. Without the character, there is no story. And every character has got specific characteristics. And the characteristics, what makes the character. Why that character is important in that story. There are many subsidiaries are there. But the main characters those who are playing the main characters shape the story, lead the story to destination. And also our Swami Tejamayanji had many places had indicated the story must have twists and turns. Without that, the story will not be interesting. In this particular Sundara Kanda, Sundarata, the beauty is of many, many different types. The beauty of Hanumanji is in his dedication to his work, Seva. Beauty of Sita is her loyalty to her husband. Beauty of Rama is his love for his wife. Beauty of Ravana is Lanka. Beauty of Vibhishan is surrender. Beauty of every one of them is most vividly expressed in this particular kanda. As we read, we will see what are the main features of this. The first canto is very long. First Sarga, I mean. In this very long, and definitely reason is the preparation of Hanumanji and his leap. In life, we don't move ahead from where we are to where we want to be. We always need to take some decisions. And those decisions that we make change our course of life. Some of you who have completed your studies in India and decided to come to this part of the world, to United States. That decision when you took that I need to go, I need to proceed and explore the opportunities, that is a leap. A thing which you did, which you would not have done without taking a decision. Thinking. And many of us make such decisions based upon some faith. Some faith we have. And the faith gives confidence. Confidence gives mental strength. Mental strength gives us the ability to face what would come in future, face the unknown. Like Nachiketa, when he was told by his father inadvertently, go to the abode of heaven. He had never been, abode of death, sorry. He had never been. He doesn't know what death means. Of course, he knows what death really in the form of physical disappearance of a person, etc. But other than that, what is beyond death, he doesn't know. So that way, he took a leap and that gave him knowledge. Gurudev Swami Chinmaya took a leap from the journalist to become a renunciate. A decision that he took out of faith. So when we really want to change ourselves, we have to step into the unknown. Like a man stepped into the first rocket shuttle to decide to find out what is out there in the outer space. And stepped into the moon. When he stepped onto the moon, landed on the moon, the whole world watched. Millions and millions and millions of people congratulated that first person. Why? Leap. The decision. So there are many such examples. Hanumanji, he took a decision. I need to go. For what? Because I love Bhagavan Sri Rama. I want to fulfill his work. In the process, I do not know whether I would reach at all or not. But then I have complete faith. If I am going for his work, I will return with success. So that was the decision that he took. As he stood there on the Mahendra mountain, as per the indications, as per the descriptions given by Sampati. So therefore, the first set of verses we read. Tato Ravananitayaha Sitaya Shatrukarshanaha Yesha Padamanveshtum Charana Charite Pati Dushkaram Nishpratidvandvam Chikirshan Karma Vanaraha Samudagrashiro Grivo Gavampatiriva Adavaiduuryavarneshu Shadvaleshu Mahabalaha Dhirasalila Kalpeshu Vichacharayata Sukam Vijan Vitrasayandiman Urasa Padapan Haran Mrigamcha Subahun Vinignan Pravruddha Iva Kesari Neelalokitamanjishta Padmavarnai Sitaihi Svabhavasiddhairvimalaihi Dhatubhik Samalankrutam Kamarupibhiravistam Abhikshnam Saparichadaihi Yakshakinnaragandharvaihi Devakalpai Sapannagaihi Tatasya Girivaryasya Tale Nagavarayute Tishtan Kapivarastatra Hridenaga Iva Babau Tataha means thereafter. Sitayaha Padam Anveshtum to search, to find out. Sitayaha of Sita. Who is Sita there? Ravananitayaha Sitayaha. Of the Sita who was being taken away by Ravana. Yesha. Yesha means, it's coming from the root word very interesting word it is here. That is Eshati. Ish, you know. Ish is to wish. A little difference between English and Sanskrit. Ish, Ishtam, Icha. Ishtam means desire. That become eshati in the first conjugate, is in the third person singular. Eshati means desires. Yesha, he desired. Padamanveshtum yesha. Who? Shatru karshana. Shatrum. Shatrum karshati iti shatru karshana. The word karsha, krush. Here you will see it's called pet katasha. The sha that is there is sh, not sh. Of course, I am leaving aside the Telugu sha, that is different. And that is sha. I'm talking about sh. So sh, karshati, karshanaha. In some of the text versions of this Ramayan, they have used the other one. Karshati. That become krishyati. And that to emaciate, to make thin. But whereas here, karshati, there krishati, krishati, karshayati. Krishati becoming thin, karshayati is to make thin. Here, krish, that is where the word Krishna word came. Krishati means to plow. One meaning is to attract, akarshanam. But here it means to tear apart, to torture. So Shatru Karshanaha means he's not attracting the Shatrus. He's not making them thin. He's not emaciating them. He's only destroying them. Therefore, here Karshanaha is correct, not Adarsha. That's what I'm trying to say. Shatru Karshanaha. Who? Hanuman, obviously. And Padamanveshtum, to know, to find out where Sita is. Therefore, Charana Charite Pati. He proceeded on the path which was tread by all the heavenly people, heavenly residents. What is that? Akash. Charana Charitam is Charite Akashe. In that Akasha, he decided to go in the form of in the sky, not by walking, not by swimming, but by flying. So that is why he decided to proceed through the path of the great masters, or path of the heavenly citizens, heavenly residents, that is the space. This particular very venture is dushkaram. It's so difficult. And nobody can take up this task, and therefore there is no opposition at all. Nishpratidvandvam. Pratidvandvam means opposition. Nishpratidvandvam, with as no opposition at all, no objection from anybody. Chikirsayan karma, desiring to do, kartumichan, chikirshan karma, vanaraha, this monkey, the great monkey, samudagra shirogrivaha, his ugrashiraha. Ugrashira means strong. Head becoming, not headstrong, becoming steady and strong and confident. Samud, samyak, udagra. Shira grivaha, head and the neck. See, when you take any flight, when it takes off, you'll see that this part becomes the foremost, because that is where the wind is going to hit. Some of the vehicles, if you see the front of the vehicle, the air has to flow properly like this. Aerodynamic model, they say. So in the same way, his head and the neck became stronger because that is what is going to face the wind. Of course, he is the son of the wind god, but yet he had to do that. Some udagra shira shariraha, shiragrivaha, gavam padiriva ababau. He appeared like that of gavam padihi, that is bull among all of them. The best of the bull, so strong. When to bullfight, you might have seen. Bullfight, they won't fight with the hands or the leg. With the head. Even elephants, when they are fighting, they fight with the forehead. Especially the bulls, when they're fighting, because the horns are there, they fight with the forehead because that is their strength. I was watching the other day some history channel. There, they were showing the fight between two elephants, African elephants. Terrible fight. And the person commentator, he was telling the head of an elephant, African elephant, is as heavy as that of a car, a passenger car. Head alone. Think about it. The head is of the weight of a car. How the animal, elephant, this gigantic animal, holds the head, which is so heavy, onto his body and moves about, and especially when it is fighting, the body has to support that weight going forward. In fact, in our body also, the head weighs heavy. That's why when we are sleeping, when the body is relaxing, the head is given up. The weight of the head comes down. Head weight comes down. Now, this very Hanuman, Ata Vaidurya Varneshu Shadvaleshu Mahabalaha, this very Hanuman, who is of mighty strength, Mahabalaha, he, Mahabalaha Dhiraha, Salilakalpeshu Shadvaleshu Vaidurya Varneshu Yatasukam Vichachara. He moved around, first of all, to find out where exactly how to take off from which point. He moved around on this green patches, green grass, Shadvaleshu, and that green is like that of the Vaidurya Varna, a cat's eye. So, the cat's eye, I was looking at what is this cat's eye really, what is the meaning? It is, of course, the color of the eyes of a cat, which is green, but at the same time glassy. You can go look through that. So it is called chrysobral. Technical name is chrysobral. Vaidurya Varneshu Salilakalpeshu, like that of even like a sheet of water. See, if a water is there and which is of green color, it's not plain green. You can look through that, it's like a glass. At the same time, it's colored green. In that kind of a patch of green grass on which he was walking about, while he started to walk, Tvichan Vitrasayan Diman Purasa Padavan Haran. By his very feet itself, very chest, Urasa, by his chest, the Iman, by his very chest, he was so mighty, he was become so strong and huge. By his very chest itself, he was able to move about or destroy even the trees, and also Dvijan Vitrasayan. also causing fear. Trasa is fear. Vitras trasayan, causing fear. Vitrasin Visheshan. Trasayan whom? Dvipan. Sorry, Dvijan. All the birds. Dvijan Vitrasayan Deman. Urasa by the chest. Padapan Haran by his chest is also destroying all the trees there. Sabahun Brgan Cha Nignan. Also, he was giving a run for life, so to say, to all the animals who are there in that forest. Nignan, destroying, killing, as though. Subahun, many Mrugan. Pravruddha iva kesari. Like a lion which is very well grown, full grown lion. The king of the forest. Like that, Hanuman. Neela lohitamanjishta padmavarnai sitasidai swabhavasiddai vimalai dhatubihi samalankritam kamarupibihi avrishtam abhikshanam saparichadaihi yaksha kinnara gandharvaihi devakalpe sapannagaihi satasya girivaryasya tale nagara nagavarayute tishtan kapihi. This is one sentence. While standing, Kapihi, this monkey, like that of Hriday Naga Iva Ababau. Hriday in the lake, Naga, a mighty elephant, how it stands, in the same way, this Kapihi, this monkey stood where? On the mountain. Tattasya Girivaryasya Tale, at the very bottom of the Mahendra mountain, he was standing. Tasya Girivaryasya Nagavarayute Tishtan. He was standing there, which is the best among the mountains. Naga means here mountain. Nagachaditi Naga. Nagavar, the best of the mountain. Nagavarayute Girivasya Tale Tishtan. And what kind of a mountain is that? That is what is explained in the previous two lines. This very mountain had full of various minerals. And the minerals of different kinds of colors. Neela, blue, Lohita, red, Manjishta, yellow, Padmavarnaihi, by the pink color, Sita Sitaihi, black and white, Sita, white, Asita, black, Sita Sitaihi, Swabhava Siddhaihi, naturally there in the mountains, Swabhava Siddhaihi, Vimalaihi, pure, dhatubihi, by the minerals, samalankritam, very beautifully endowed with, kamarupibihi, those who can take their own forms according to their wish, avishtam, surrounded or occupied, abhikshanam saparichadaihi, always being resided where? By them who? Yaksha, Kinnara, Gandharvaihi, Devakalpaihi. Of those people who are equal to that of Devadas, who are Yakshas, Kinnaras, Gandharvas, Devakalpaihi, Sapannagaihi, along with these Nagas. Nagas are those who have the body of the snake and face of a human, or head is Naga and body is human, whichever. So Sapannagaihi, sometimes they write this way, sometimes that way. So by all of them, that kind of a mountain, they were Hanumanji at the feet, at the root of that very mountain, stood there, mighty, like that of an elephant. Sasuryaya Mahendraya
Sasuryaya Mahendraya
Pavanaya Swayambhuve
Pavanaya Svayambhuve
Bhutebhyaschanjalim Krutva
Bhutebhyaschanjalim Krutva
Chakaragamane Matim
Chakaragamane Matim
Anjalim Prangmukam Kurvan
Anjalim Prangmukham Kurvan
Pavanayatmayonaye
Pavanayatmayonaye
Adohi Bavrute Gantum
Tato hi vavrudhe gantum
Dakshino Dakshinam Disham
Dakshino Dakshinam Disham
Plavaga Pravarair Drishtaha
Plavaga Plavarair Drishtaha
Pavane Krita Nischayaha
Plavane Krita Nishchayaha
Pavrade Rama Vrudyartam
Vavrudhe Rama Vridyartham
Samudra Iva Parvasu
Samudra Iva Parvasu
Nishpramana Shariraha
Nishpramana Shariraha
Sanlilanguyi Puravarnavam. Sorry. Sanlilangayishwararnavam.
Sallilanga Yishurarnavam
Bahubhyam Pidayamasa.
Bahubhyam Pidayamata
Charanabhyam Chaparvatam.
Charanabhyam cha parvatam
Sajachala Balasha Sajachala Chalaschashu
Sachachala chalaschashu
Muhurtam Kapipiditaha
Muhurtam kapipiditaha
Karunam Pushpitagranam
Tarunam pushpitagranam
Sarvam Pushpamashatayat
Sarvam pushpamashatayat
Tena Pada Pramuktena
Tena padapamuktena
Pushpaugena Sugandhina
Pushpaughena sugandhina
Sarvada Samvrita Shailo
Sarvatat samvrta shailo
Babau Pushpamayo Yata
Babho pushpamayo yatha
Tena Chottama Viryena
Tena chottama virena
Pidyamanassa Parvataha
Pidyamanassa parvataha
Salilam Samprasusrava
Salilam samprasusrava
Madamatta Iva Dvipaha.
Madamatta iva dvipaha.
As he stood there at the very base of the mountain, what did he do? In our tradition, and I'm sure in all religions this is true, when you undertake anything uncertain, you always seek the guidance and blessings and grace of the Lord, of God. During the time of Ramayan, what God they were to worship? Not the Devatas. But at the same time, when Hanumanji is ready to take off, he needs all kinds of grace and blessings. Definitely from Sri Rama, he has already got it. But he is going to proceed towards something which may, on the way, he may encounter many challenges. See, nowadays, when a particular flight is about to take off, what they do, the oil check, tire pressure, engine tuning, that's why when a flight comes to any airport and stops, by the time people get off and the new set of people get in, they do all the checking. Especially race cars, you should see. Race cars, they need extreme fine tuning. And as they are even going by the race, sometimes the tire may lose the air pressure or even burst. So they have technicians who are standing there very ready And this person who's driving the car so speedily, he will come and stop within seconds. They are able to change the tires and change everything and fine tune everything. Within few seconds, they have to finish because it's a part of the race. How efficient is the team? It's very important. So in any uncertain tasks that we take up, we need the blessing. So here, first of all, he Anjalim Krutva Matim Gamane Madim Chakara. He, having saluted, he decided to, mentally he decided to proceed. And who are all the ones whom he had done the salutation? Suryaya, Mahendraya, Pavanaya, Swayambhuve, Bhutebhyascha. Surya, the sun. It should not be too hot for him while he is moving, or it should not be, no sun at all. That will be very cold. He cannot move in the sky. Mahendra, from where he is proceeding, or Mahendra here means Indra, who is the god of all the deities. Pavanaya, to the wind god. Swayambhuve, to Brahmaji. And Shivaganas, Bhutebhyascha, Anjalim Krutva, saluting them. Matim Chakara, to proceed. Especially for his own father. Anjalim Prangmukam Kurvan, at the eastern side, he saluted, because eastern side is for the wind. So, Prangmukam Krit Kurvan, Pavanaya, for the wind god, Atmayonaye, for his own father. Atmayoni, one's own son of one's own father, whose progeny he was. Tato hi vivrude gandum. Therefore, he decided from there, having saluted that, all of them, and he started to grow in size. Vrud, vardate is to grow. Vrude, he started to grow. Rama vrudhyartam, for this purpose of Sri Rama. Samudra iva parvasu. Parvasu, during the time of the full moon, how the ocean rises up, swells, in the same way, started to swell up Hanumanji for the sake of completing Rama's desire or the purpose. Nishpramana Shariraha. Pramana means a method of knowing. Measurable. Ma is to measure. Pramana, measurable. Nishpramana Shariraha. One whose body is immeasurable. Yasya Shariram Nishpramanam. Tasya. So, Nishpramana Shariraha. Some Lilangayushu. Oh, Samyak Lilangayushu. Lung is to Langidumichan Ichuhu. To leap. So that's why in Hindi में लंगू कहते हैं उसको. Monkey, langu. So I think langu is langu. Yeah. So samyak tilanga yishuhu, one who is desiring to leave. What? Arnavam, the ocean. To cross over the ocean, one who desired to. Bahubhyam pidayamasa charanabhyam cha parvatam. By his very hands, by shoulders, as well as by his foot, he started to beat that very mountain from which he has to take up, because he has to make sure that ground is strong. So when you are building something also, you make sure that ground is strong. You make sure you press it, making sure that it can take that very force. Like when they take off, the rockets take off, they very rocket base. It has to be extremely strong. It cannot give up. So in the same way, he started to beat on that very mountain, making sure it can take up the weight of his power of his takeoff. Saha chachala, he shook up. Achalaha, achalascha ashu, that very achala mountain, he started to shake. Muhurtam, Kapipidata, the entire mountain started to shake up. Why? Kapipidata, being beaten up by or shaken up by the very Kapi, the Hanumanji. And when that very mountain started to shake up or tremble because of the very beating that it received from Hanumanji, what happened was the trees that were there, Tarunam Pushpidagranam Sarvam Pushpam Ashadayat. So those trees which had the flowers at their very, very tip, Pushpita Agrana Tarunam Sarvam, all those trees, Pushpam Ashadayat, that very, all the flowers have been made to fall down. Shad is the root word here. Shad, shiyate. Shiyate means falling down. Shadayat, that is causal, made to fall. The word Upanishad, in the Upanishad, that word Shad is, but that is Shad. Actually coming from the same root, Shat. So anyway, so shiyate, cast, fall down. Fall down. Then basically where there is samsara, where the samsara, because of the very study of Upanishad, will become destroyed. Tena padamuktena pushpai ogena sugandhina. By that very padamuktena pushpogena sugandhina, padapamuktena. So that very flowers that are released from those trees, which have pushpa ogena, the bunches of flowers, heap of flowers, sugandhina, by those most beautifully smelling, sarvada sambritaha shailaha babau. The whole mountain becomes fully surrounded by flowers. Sarvada sambritaha shailabo pushpamayo yada, filled with flowers. The whole, the Mahendra mountain became like a flower mountain. Tena cha uttama viryena pidyamanaha sa sarvataha, being beaten up by the very power of the Hanumanji, uttama viryena, uttama virya, of the great strength, Hanumata, sarvataha, salilam, the water that is there in the mountain, samprasusrava, it started to flow down. Like what? Madamatta ivadvipaha. Like a mad elephant. In a mad elephant, the echor, it is called echor, that is in a particular secretion that takes place inside the head of an elephant, started to flow down. That is considered as a dangerous situation where the mind of an elephant will become so bewildered, and such a mad elephant means a disaster. So in the same way, the mountain which had many waters up there on the top started to flow down because of the very shaking. Pityamanastu balina Mahendrastena parvataha Itirnirvartayamasa Kanchananjanarajatihi Vimocha cha shilashailo Vishala samanashilaha Shila Madhyame Narjisha Bhrjushto
मध्यमे नार्चिषा जुष्टो
Dhumarajirivanalaha
धूमराजिरिवानलः
Harina Pidyamanena
हरिणा पीड्यमानेन
Pidyamanani Sarvataha
पीड्यमानानि सर्वतः
Guhavishtani Satvani
गुहाविष्टानि सत्त्वानि
Vinedu Vikrutaisvaraihi
विनेदुर्विकृतैश्वरैः
Samahan Satvasannadaha
समहान् सत्त्वसन्नादः
Tailapidanimittajah
शैलपीडानिमित्तजः
Prithivim Purayamasa
पृथिवीं पूरयामास
Dishaschopavanani cha
दिशश्चोपवनानि च
Shirobi Pratubirnagaha
शिरोभिः पृथुभिर्नागाः
Vyaktasvastika Vyaktasvastika
व्यक्तस्वस्तिकलक्षणैः
Vamantapashakam di Goram
वमन्तः पावकं घोरम्
Pavakam. Okay, Pavakam. Okay. Dadam Shurdashanai Shilaha
ददंशुर्दशनैशिलाः
Astada Sabishair Dashtaha
तास्तदा सविषैर्दृष्टाः
Dashtaha Kupitaistair Mahashilaha
कुपितैस्तैर्महाशिलाः
Jajvaluh Pavakauddiptaha
जज्वलुपावकोद्दीप्ताः
Bibiduscha Sahasrada
बिबिदुश्च सहस्रधा
Yani Twaug Aushada Yani Twaushada Jalani
यानि त्वौषधजालानि
Tasmin Jatani Parvate
तस्मिन् जातानि पर्वते
Vishagnanyapi Naganam
विषघ्नान्यपि नागानां
Nashekuhu Shamitum Visham.
न शेकुशमितं विषम्.
The second verse, ninth verse, sorry, I didn't explain. Tadohi Vivrude Gantum, he started to grow Dakshinam Disham towards the southern side. Hanumanji decided to move. That is where he grew. Dakshinaha, Dakshinam Disham. That's a beautiful wordplay there. Dakshinaha means one who is, Daksha is to one who is capable of becoming, one who is sincere. One who is not only expert. Daksha is one who is expert, but also at the same time, very sincere. So, Dakshinaha, one who is sincere to his very purpose of the very adventure, Dakshinam Disham, Plavagagrahavai Agravaraihi Drishtaha, being seen, noticed by all the other monkeys, Plavane Kritanishchayaha, he who had decided to lead. Then Vavrude Ramavritim, that I explained. All right. Here, Balina Bidyamanaha Mahendraha, this very mountain which is very powerfully being beaten up by this very monkey here, Bidyamanaha Mahendraha, Tena Parvataha, Ritihi. So all of those very mountain which had a lot of water, as I said before. Riti also means stream, a flow. Ritihi nirvartayamasa, started to flow down. Nirvartanam, nirvriti means to complete, to accomplish. Nirvriti means nirvriti, not nivritti. Nivritti means avoidance. Nirvriti means a complete accomplishment. So it started to accomplish the fact that all the streams started to come down. And that very, very stream that came down, Kanchana Anjana Rajadihi. And because it started to flow down, it had various kinds of minerals also mixed up, as I told earlier. Gold. It has started to gold. The streams had gold, antimony, and silver, because it's filled with so many different precious things. Mumochasa shilaha, shailo vishalaha, shilaha. And the very mountain had huge boulders that also started coming out. Mumocha shilaha, shailaha mumocha. He started to release shilaha, vishalaha, which was wide, shilaha, which are realgar, containing realgar, a particular kind of a chemical which is already there in that, or sulfur to say. Shilaha, madhyamena arjishaha jushtaha, and also it is appearing like that of the smoke that is coming out of the middle of the fire. So here it is madhyamena archisha madhyamena jushtaha dhumarajiriva. The very, started the vertical column of smoke. Like a column of smoke that comes out of the middle of the fire. Dhumarajiriva analaha. In that way, like at the middle of the flames, how the smoke columns start rising up. In the same way, all the streams started flowing down. Harina pidyamanena, by that very monkey being beaten up, pidyamanani guhavishtani sattvani sarvada, all the various animals who have been living in that mountains, that mountain being shaken up by Hanuman, Vineduhu, they started to cry out loudly, Vikritaihi swaraihi. Unnatural. Vikrita always means Krita means that is usual. Vikrita. That's why we say, Samskriti, Prakriti, Samskriti, Vikriti. Prakriti means natural. Samskriti means pure. Vikriti means unnatural. Opposite of Prakriti. Prakriti, Vikriti. Viruddha Kriti. So, some people also, when they act so peculiarly, the Vikriti hai. In Malayalam, that word is there. Yeah, Vikriti. Vikriti means not proper. Something wrong. Some nut has been loosened up in the head. So, Vikritaihi swaraihi. So, it is a very unnatural sound that they were creating. So, Samahan Sattva Sannadaha, that very sound of all these various animals making noise, Shaila Pida Nimittajaha, due to the fact that being the mountain is beaten up, Nimitta, due to that fact, Nimittajaha, born out of that, Prithivim Purayamasa, the entire earth has been filled with Dishascha Upavananicha, various directions, as well as the other grooves that were there near the forest, all of them have been filled with that kind of a sound. And when such animals, especially when the tsunami and all these things, such things, the animals know first. And they make peculiar noise. When they make peculiar noise, not only humans hear them, other animals also hear. When the other animals and birds hear that, it's like an alarm sound. Immediately, they also started to shift their places. It is like, when they fly, you are going in a car, immediately you notice, who is he chasing? Am I the victim here? Am I the culprit? You look at the rear mirror and you see that immediately you take to the side allowing, chalo baba, aap jao, mujhe mat pakdo, don't catch me. You make sure that, because when you hear the sound itself, you know somebody is in trouble. In the same way, when these very unique, unusual sound, when they heard, all the various in the nearby forest also, and Shirobihi Pradubirnagaha, so the very snakes that were there, whose head had the fangs, Vyakta Swastika Lakshanaihi. The fangs of the very snake had the shape of a swastika. It's very interesting. Ramayan points out that there is a swastika symbol already there in the fang. When the snake takes the hood opened up, then you can see in the very there is a swastika symbol there. Vamantaka pavakam duvoram. They started to vomit the extremely venomous visha, venomous poison. And where did they vomit that? Dadamshuhu dashanaihi, with their teeth, they started to hit the rocks there. Shilaha dadamshuhu, by hitting the rock, because the poison to come out, there must be a place where they can vomit. When a human being is there, it will hit, punch it on your body. Now it is sitting on the rocks. Taha tata sarvashaihi dashta, being bitten up. Dashta means damsh is the root. Dashta means bitten. Dashta, all the plural. Savishaihi dashta, bite him, having been bitten along with the poison. Kupitaihi, by those very angry snakes. Kupitaihi taihi mahashilaha, all those rocks, huge rocks which are filled with that kind of a poison. Jajwalahu, they started to burn. So this poison is not very, simple. They are extremely venomous. That very thing become like that of fire. Jajwalaha, pavako deeptaha, bibidastu sahasradaha, bibidas, because of the very presence of the poison, which is like that of a fire, that got into that very rock, and that rock split into pieces because of the heat of that poison, the very strength of the poison. Bibiduhu sahasrada. Yani tu aushada jalani tasmin jatani parvade, all the various herbs that are growing up, varieties of jalani, various herbs that are bunches of them which are grown in that very mountain, jatani parvade, which are capable of dispelling or destroying the very poisons of the snakes, which are capable, though herbs are very capable, but in the large quantity of the snakes poison that has started to break out even the rocks, even those herbs, vishagnani, visham hanti iti vishagnam, vishagnani. So those which are capable of destroying the poison, api, even then, naganam vishagnani api nashekuhu, they could not shamitum visham, even to stop or to destroy that visha, they became incapable. In this way, beautiful description of the scenery is brought into your head. It's not a painting. It's a word painting. Valmiki is trying to bring that atmosphere into your head by giving such a word description. As you start thinking, you are already lifted to that very place in your mind. Supposed to, if you are listening. While I was reading, I was so thrilled to see the description, how elaborately he describes it, as though he's watching that is happening there. I mean, these are all not easy, right? You have not seen such a huge form of Hanumanji or even the mighty Mahendra mountain, how big he became, how he, shaking up the entire mountain, how the flowers are falling, how the birds are flying away, how the animals are running away, how they are making noise, how the serpents are vomiting poison, and how the rocks are splitting apart. This is such a vivid description. Sundarata of the Virya of Hanuman. That's what we should see here. Okay, somebody is going to do the final chanting. Akanita.
अगणित गुण गण भूषण राम आश्रित वत्सल जय जय राम अयोध्यवासी सीता राम आपद बांधव जय जय राम दशरथ नंदन श्री राम दशमुख मर्दन जय जय राम कौसल्या सुतवर्धन राम कामित बलराज जय जय राम पाप विमोचन श्री राम पट्टाभिराम जय जय राम जानकी वल्लभ सीता राम जय रघुराम जय सिया राम वानर सेवित श्री राम जय जय राम हनुमत पूजित सीता राम श्री राम जय जय राम रघुपति राघव राम पतित पावन सीता राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भैया सब संतन की जय
सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की